Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel again. So today we are talking about how to critically evaluate a poem. So it is very interesting that sometimes in examination we are given a task to evaluate a poem or any piece of poetry or that we have not read before. So in that case what we can do, like if we have some poem very common and or if we have already read that, that is very good. But in case you get a poem which is not familiar or which you have never read before, then how can we go with evaluation? So these are certain tips which can help you in getting to know the poem through its words, its structure. So it doesn't mean that you have already read that, you can still critically evaluate it. Now, first of all, try to figure out the meaning of the poem. So ask yourself questions like what happens in the poem or what is the poet trying to say. That you get when you start reading it, and how forcefully does he or she say it. Which lines bring out the meaning of the poem. Sometimes these lines are repeating. So those repetitions suggest that something is very pertinent, something is very particular, something is quite vital, potential, necessary for the poem. So you have to pay attention to those lines and then note that the last lines of a poem are usually important as they are either emphasizing or changing the meaning of the poem, just like Volta that happens in case of a sonnet. So Volta is there to change the meaning of it. So yeah, here you need to ask yourself questions while reading, and sometimes the poem also tells you the background of the poet, which is very necessary. You should know that which type of structure is there, like as I'm talking about the background, like it could tell you that it is about nature. So if it is about nature, then it may be by romantics. If it is about philosophical illusions and conceits, it may be from the metaphysical poets. If it is written in Old English or Middle English, it may be some lines from Geoffrey Chaucer. So here you have to evaluate that who could be the potential writer of these works. So you can ascertain it, and also you have to pay attention to the taglines or important lines which are repeated or on which you feel that author or the poet is forcing. Now furthermore, if you see that imagery is a common technique used by the poets to get their meanings across, you should know the imageries that are used in poems. So ask yourself which images have been chosen. Are they all related? Is there one overall image or several different images used? What feeling is given by the image? Evaluate the poet's images in your own mind. So if he's talking about one image or like not much images, then it suggests that the poem is not of modern age, because the modern age poems have so many images in them. But that is not necessary. It can happen otherwise as well. But yes, most of the time the modern poetry is filled with, replete with so many images at the same time. So even these images tell you about the life of the poet or about the era of the poet. So you should know the images which are used, read them carefully, and then look for the symbols. Some symbols like those of William Blake are obscure, but most of the symbols are very popular. Most of the symbols are very easy to know, like darkness is a symbol, light is a symbol, similarly red color is a symbol, green color is a symbol. So you should go for the symbols. Now the poet may use images that suggest certain concepts like love, youth and depth. So you need to see that how and what is the contribution of these symbols, how are they contributing to these lines that you're studying, and how effective they are if you find some effectiveness of those symbols in the work that you're studying. Then look at the poet's choice of words. So the poet's choice of words is usually very important. Try to determine why the poet used particular words and whether or not these words stand out. Determine how these particular words contribute to the meaning of the poem, and also look for the words that are repeated. What effect does this add to the poem? So this selection of the words also tells you that what is the thinking pattern of the poet, what he's trying to suggest. Is the poem having gloomy atmosphere? Is it filled with pessimistic elements? Are the words that he's using the going towards hopelessness, or he's inferring some hope? So words automatically tell you that he's trying to suggest something different, or whatever he's suggesting. Those words are very easy to tell you that what is his bent of mind. Now, determine the voice and tone of voice of the poem. So, does the poet take on another persona, like he's being personal or impersonal? What is his mood in the poem? Is he angry? Is he ardent, suicidal, regretful? Is he talking about women? Is he being passionate? Is he talking about his enemy? So, what words or images bring out this mood? So, you have to find those words too. What is the poet's relationship with the reader? So, is he being very clear, or is he being obscure, complex, or incomprehensible? Then, is the poet trying to persuade or amuse, or is he or she reflecting the state of the word, like whatever is happening in the word? So, is this poem to convince you about something? Is it written to merely give you some amusement? So, you need to think, or it is written about some state of the word, some state of the affairs, whatever is happening around the word. So, voice is also very particular and very important. Then, see that if the poem is narrative, does the poem contain any storyline? So, you should find if it contains any conflict. So, you should also go for the finding the resolution of those conflicts. And then, all the characters shown fully or in part. Sometimes he describes characters properly, sometimes only just a glimpse of them is given. So, what role do they play? So, are those potential characters, or those round characters or flat characters? Or is there any suspense in the poem? So, in the poems of Coleridge, so you have to find the element of suspense as well. You have also to look for a rhyme scheme on that. And yes, if it is of any significance, or it draws attention to certain words or ideas, or it is written in free verse style, like it is not having any rhyme scheme. You get to know some idea about rhyme scheme when you see the ending of each line. So if line A is rhyming with line line A is rhyming with line C, like means to say if line 1 is rhyming with line 3 and 2 with 4, then it is A B A B. If first two lines are rhyming and next two lines are rhyming, then it is A and B B. So here you go. So you can easily detect the rhyme scheme there, or if there is no rhyming, you can assess that it may be free verse. Then determine the poem structure. It is also very easy, like you can guess, is it in regular stanzic form or irregular form? Like either it is having two or more equal cluster of lines, or not. If it is irregular, why? What could be the reason? Maybe the complexification of the modern age. Maybe the writer wants to have a free writing structure. So the form of the poem, or how it looks on the page, so it often contributes to its meaning. Like sometimes its structure, the way it is written on the page, also tells us about the structure, like what structure does it contain. Then try to determine the poem's type. Is the poem a lyric, a sonnet in which you find 14 lines? Is it a narrative poem in which some story is told? Or what could be the significance of the type of poem? Or what characteristics of this type of poem are found? So here you assess all those things which you find very much present in the poem. So it doesn't matter at all whether you have been through this poem earlier or not. You can easily guess many things out of it. So being a reader or scholar of English, these tips can help you to evaluate an unseen poem, which automatically comes in the paper of literary criticism, where you have to give your your own evaluation of a poem which you have read or never read before. So it helps in both the ways. So I hope you like the idea. So please subscribe the channel and share with your loved ones. Thank you very much.